What's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about butt wink. But first, let me preface this by saying I am not an expert. I am not a spinal specialist or whatever the hell you would call someone who works with spines. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm just a dude who owns a strongman gym. If you've had a severe back injury, go see a professional. Again, I am not an expert. That's why this video is free and I'm not charging anyone for this advice. With that said, I've had some experience with butt wink in myself and with the people I've worked with. So this video is just an attempt to shed some light on the topic. First, what is butt wink? Butt wink is a cartoon moose who's best friends with a flying squirrel named Rocky. Oh, Bullwinkle? Butt wink occurs when your pelvis tucks underneath you at the bottom position of a squat. So, let's answer a question that many of you have asked me. Is butt wink bad? Yes and no. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Anyone who squats ass to grass with a relatively narrow stance is going to show some sign of butt wink. Usually what happens is the squatter starts with a real hyperextended lower back. They squat down to the bottom, and once they get to the bottom position of a squat, their lower back is simply adjusting back to its neutral curve. This is totally fine and nothing to worry about. As long as the squat is controlled and the squatter is working with his muscles to support the weight, the risk for injury is significantly decreased. Now, if the lower back starts to flex over and round, that could be cause for concern. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the lumbar spine. Believe it or not, the lumbar spine is mobile. We do have the ability to flex over and to extend. I've read that we have around 80 degrees of flexion and extension. Now, of course, if we're bearing a load, we need to be mindful of this range of motion. A common misconception is that we always have to maintain a tight lower back. Lift with your knees, not your back. Maintain a tight back throughout all ranges of motion. While this might be good advice for my 80-year-old grandmother or someone who's never ever done any physical activity in his entire life, this doesn't apply to everyone. Watch any world record deadlift. Watch a heavy Atlas stone load. Look at Olympic gymnasts. Look at Olympic wrestlers. You'll see a degree of spinal flexion. Should we tell them they're doing it wrong? Okay, I'm getting carried away. I'm not even talking about butt wink anymore. Here's my theory. And again, I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. You might disagree with me. I'm just voicing my opinion on the matter. I think we all should have the ability to flex and extend our lumbar spine. But because of the high rate of inactivity and the lack of physical demand in 2015, I think a lot of us have lost the ability to move our lumbar spine. So if we lack mobility in our lumbar spine and we put a heavy load on our back, sit all the way down, now we're forcing ourselves into that range of motion, and that's where injury occurs. I like to relate this topic to squatting deep. Just because you don't have the ability to squat ass to grass doesn't mean everyone else should avoid doing it. The movement is not jacked up, you are. Anyways, back to butt wink. Please realize this video is not an invitation to go throw your back out. Now, with all that said, if you are a relatively inflexible person and you struggle with range of motion, especially when you squat, there's a very good chance that butt wink could be causing you lower back pain, lower back aches, or even a herniated disc. So, I'm gonna give you two solutions to help with your butt wink problem, if in fact it is a problem. Solution number one, try to widen your squat stance a little bit and keep your toes and knees pointing out. Doing this will allow you to squat with a more upright torso. It will clear your thighs out of the way and prevent your stomach from being pushed in. You see, when you squat with a narrow stance, toes pointing forward, your stomach comes in contact with your thighs. Your thighs might be pushing your stomach in, and this is what's causing your lower back to round. So, widen out your stance, point your toes outward, and keep your torso as upright as possible. Solution number two, stretch your hamstrings. You might have tight hamstrings. Your hamstrings connect at the back of the knee and up to your booty cheek. If you arch your lower back, force anterior pelvic tilt, and sit your butt back, you are lengthening your hamstrings. If your hamstrings are tight, as you squat down, they'll pull against your pelvis and tuck your butt underneath you at the bottom of the squat. So, a broad solution for this would be stretch your hamstrings. When you do, make sure you maintain a strong arch in your lower back. Don't stretch your hamstrings with a flexed over lower back. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's it. I know this video was a little wishy-washy and kind of all over the place, so I apologize for that. Maybe you learned a thing or two. Make sure you dislike the video, write a bunch of nasty comments about how wrong I am, and be sure to unsubscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Always remember, tread untamed.
Oh yeah, you know, brave sound, human, logo, let's do that. Let me see your body move, I love that.
여자라면 누구나 노출을 원해요. 여자라면 한 번쯤 다이어트라네요. 여자라면 분명히 사랑받길 원해요. 꿈속의 왕자님은 분명히 나타날 거예요. 먹고 싶은 것도 참고 독하게 살아가. 아픈 것도 모두 참고 난 예뻐질 거야. 사랑할 거야. 더 보여줄 거야. 난 달라질 거야.
You do deserve it.
내 몸은 nice nice body 잘 빠진 다리 새끈한 허리 Give me love 내 몸은 nice nice body 모두 다 놀래 하나같이 반해 이제 나를 믿지 못해
너도 알고 있어, 네 다리 이쁜 거.
You got